All right, we are going live. And so what we'll see is that there'll be a little bit of a delay if you're watching the feed on your, if you specifically are watching the feed, you're going to see a little delay between us on Zoom and seeing it on Facebook. So hello, Fit Pros. Kelly here. Good to see you. I am here live. So first of all, let me tell you a little bit about where I'm at because I know it looks different. I am in Alabama today, and I am cleaning out my son's dorm. So he did not pick up everything when he was shooed out of here for quarantines, and so we've come here and we're cleaning out his dorm. And in honor of the college experience, I have my red Solo cup full of water. And we are here with my special guest, and I'm really excited to have him because I know you guys have a ton of questions. So I have got Joe Fagan from Insure Fitness with me today. How you doing, Joe?
Great, Kelly. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Good to have you. I know I get special access to you and I get to talk to you all the time, but these guys don't always get to ask all their questions to you. So I'm really excited to get you on the show and just let everybody fire some questions at you. And so you guys are going to see me fiddling with my phone a little, and that's because I'm talking to Joe and then I'm watching the feed for your questions. So you guys, the first thing I want you to do is throw up some hearts and fires and some likes and tell me hello in the comments and just let me know that you're here. And that, what that does is a couple things. It helps me and Joe get really excited and happy about talking to everybody. If you've got questions already, go ahead and start throwing them up there. But it also shows Facebook that you're engaging with this content and that you like what we're doing. And then Facebook will show this live feed to more of the members of our community. So it helps us get more views in here and helps more people get this valuable information. So Joe, you are a valuable member of the Fit Pros community. Whenever somebody has questions about insurance, I already say, hey, Joe's part of our community. Let me pull him into this conversation, unless I know the answer and I can just answer it for you, and then I will. But I would love for you to just introduce yourself, give us a little bit of bio on you, background, whatever you'd like to tell us, and then maybe a little bit about Insure Fitness as a company.
Absolutely. So, well, again, thank you. Appreciate any opportunity to speak with the wonderful community that you put together of fitness professionals. And I mirror your thoughts there. If anybody has any questions now or post this call, feel free to reach out to us, to me, or to anybody in our group anytime. We're delighted to answer very honestly any questions about our product, about competing products. We just want to give the knowledge. We want to answer the questions the right way. Well, thank you. So the company that I work for, Insure Fitness Group, we're a division of the Doyle Group, and we've been in the health and wellness business, in the health and wellness space, I should say, for a little over 30 years. Our company actually owns a couple of magazines. We own Chiropractic Economics Magazine as well as Massage Magazine, and our entry into the health and wellness space back in about 2008, 2009. It showed us a underserved market offering liability insurance to individual health and wellness practitioners. And so at that time, we developed a technology that allowed somebody to kind of go online and enroll in liability insurance, much like going to Amazon and buying a product. And so we built a program designed at that time for massage therapists. And really the technology coupled by like our main marketing goal, which is a lot on forming partnerships and coming up with creative ways to kind of work together and help the community, really fueled our success. So anyway, fast forward to a couple of years ago, we launched Insure Fitness Group. So now we offer liability insurance to massage therapists, to beauty professionals, to yoga instructors and Pilates instructors. And now we've created a separate brand specifically to personal trainers and fitness instructors. And that's what we do with Insure Fitness Group. So really, it's all designed for the individual personal trainer and fitness instructor.
Beautiful. I think that that is such a big market right now. Like you've really kind of hit on something, because I really personally believe that 2020 is going to be the rise of the individual personal trainer and fitness instructor. You know, you've already seen us all being quarantined and furloughed and having a complete income stoppage. And then what is going to happen is that a lot of us are going to come back with our own individual products, because the why hasn't changed. We all want to get out there and serve and love on our communities and love on our participants and our clients, and it's just the how that has to change because of the quarantines. And so I see this being something that so many of us need, which is why I've got you on the show today. And so with that, I know that one of the things that we have talked about a lot and that you guys have made a pivot to help us with has to do with online delivery of workouts. So tell me a little bit about your coverage, specifically with the policy that you've put together for the Fit Pros group, pertaining to virtual sessions.
Absolutely. So our programs have always covered live online streaming, meaning that as long as whether the session was live face to face or done live online, our program covers it. And it covers the practice of it and the teaching of it. So if you're whether you're a massage therapist or massage therapy instructor or a fitness trainer or a fitness teacher, all of it is covered live or in any type of live setting. In response to the pandemic, our underwriters very quickly allowed us to add coverage to pre-recorded videos as a part of our program. Interestingly about that, I didn't even think that was possible. I didn't understand the ability to mitigate risk when you didn't have somebody live giving feedback, but it turns out it's possible. Not only is it possible, but our underwriters were allowed us to, at least during this time, to add it to our coverage without any additional charge. As we come out of the pandemic and things come back to normal, I believe that it's going to be an optional upgrade to add that to your coverage. But as of today, it is all part of our program. And it's for ours, there's no restrictions. I know a lot of times those pre-recorded coverage options come with restrictions, as in privatization. They need to be either put into a private group or done through YouTube with private settings where you can invite people in, which makes sense. Those are smart things to do. Our program, as of this point, has no restrictions like that. So that's really kind of a neat thing that we've been able to do to kind of help a lot of people in response to the pandemic. And you're right. I mean, the one thing, I mean, there's a lot of heartbreak going on right now, and you see a lot of, there's a lot of people that are hurting, a lot of people that are losing things, but boy, the entrepreneurial spirit is alive and well. You're seeing a lot of folks who have pivoted, made 180-degree pivots from live face settings to a successful, thriving online virtual business. And lots of inspiring things we're seeing.
I'll tell you, so I ran the Go Virtual Challenge last week, and we will do it again starting June 12th. But I had one participant, and I don't even have the numbers from all my participants, but I have one participant who jumped in, taught her first virtual session, asked for money for the first time ever, made $345 that she would not have made if she had not been in the challenge. She would have made this many dollars if she had not been in the challenge, and she made $345 last week. So I think that just speaks to what you just said. The entrepreneurial spirit is alive and well, and when you get your stuff together and know what you're doing and maybe have a little guidance, you can really make this work. The why for us has not changed. It's just the method of delivery that's changed.
And I love that people are it's interesting to talk about the positive sides of something that can be potentially so heartbreaking, such as this pandemic has been. But people are coming out of this with brand new revenue streams. They're going to be able to go back and at some point to a normal business, but then also have some additional, potentially even passive revenue streams where they've covered some, maybe some videos and people are buying them or renting them online, or they have subscription services.
Yeah.
A lot of people are going to be better at a lot of things coming out of this, which is kind of
neat. I think that's so true. There were a couple things that you said there. So, gyms are starting to open back up, but I'll tell you, I went back to the gym last week and I was invited to start teaching my cycle class again. And I know these guys have heard this story a couple times. I actually went back for 2 classes and decided I'm not comfortable and I'm not going back right now. So I think normal is, I I think it may be further off than we think it is, just because, yes, maybe you might have the opportunity to go back, but it's going to look so different. It's going to look so different for our clients, and we just don't know who's going to come back in. So virtual gives us options in so many ways. And the other cool thing about virtual is that I believe it's going to be the opportunity for us as trainers and instructors to serve some really specific not personalities, really specific audiences better. So audiences that maybe have one specific injury in common, or one specific medical condition in common, or one specific goal in common. I think we were able to come together and serve those audiences better. And so as we see more of that, I'm excited for the opportunity to work with Insure Fitness to continue to, hone and provide coverage for those types of things as that moves forward.
I love it. I love what you said there too about focusing on particular niches or particular expertise. I think there's a huge opportunity for certain personal trainers, fitness instructors to really find their niche and focus on really building a customer base based on that niche. Not everybody, but I think that there's more opportunity there. And specialized services get a lot of unique customers. They have sometimes a higher price point. There's some benefits to that.
Agreed. So let's circle back, because we got away from a topic that's really important to a lot of people. So you started to talk about coverage for virtual, and that's the biggest question that I see for you when I'm watching the comments that are coming into the group. It has to do with who covers virtual. My company's not covering virtual. They only cover virtual if it's this way or that way. So I see virtual as being three different methods of delivery. There is the live delivery of a workout. There is the live that is going to also be available as a recording later on. So you have the choice when you do a live, you can either make that go away and it's never available again, or you can leave it as an archived recording. You cover both of those.
Correct.
Then the third option is a pre-recorded video. So that's like if you're going to just record a video and then you're going to upload that somewhere and sell it or make it available. And you cover that as well.
Correct. And if somebody gets injured from that and that person decides to sue the trainer, our coverage would kick in to cover that. Yes.
Excellent. And then the other kind of variable in virtual workouts is sometimes the instructor can see everybody, as in Zoom, as in Facebook rooms, which we experimented with last week during the challenge. And sometimes the instructor cannot see everybody and they're only available by comments. And you cover both of those. Correct.
As we're kind of going through this pandemic, and all businesses are changing, and we're all learning something. So insurance, this is simply a guess on my part, but as insurance is navigating the different requests, the different asks, the different coverages that are happening in response to this pandemic, I imagine we're going to come out of this and you're going to see some changes. Yes, right now we cover everything that you mentioned. Would I expect as we come out of this, our underwriters to look at it and say, okay, now that we've come out, we need to either put some restrictions on either whether it's to privatize the pre-recorded, or if they want waivers if there's not live feedback. I don't know what that's going to look like, but I could certainly see insurance coming in and saying, hey, we got to keep this safe, and we can't keep we can't have the risk profile too far outside of what we're able to charge in premiums. We have to keep all the numbers in line. So I could see certain things changing coming out of this. As of right now, yes, at 100% to everything you said.
Well, that's something that you and I hopped on and talked about last week or the week before. And so now I'm going to put you on the spot, because I did not ask you about this before the show, but we did talk about maybe there being some sort of forms that would be made available. So you're saying you see kind of that coming down the line for insurance companies in general, that they're going to say, you need to have a waiver, you need to have this, you need to have that, and that maybe they would provide those?
Well, and a lot of time insurance companies do require those things. We haven't in the past. I don't know. I could see maybe with pre-recorded videos, us requiring a waiver. There's only one component of our coverage where we do require a waiver, and it's for yoga therapy. But again, a very specific, very very niche coverage of ours. But Yeah, I could definitely see that possible. And we recently have partnered with a law firm that's focused on the health and wellness marketplace, and they've really helped to give us some advice and give our clients advice on the right proper use of waivers. We did a webinar yesterday about that that will be eventually be uploaded into our universe to hopefully answer some questions that people have.
Oh, I would love to link to that when you've got a link. If you don't mind sending it to me, I will definitely put it in the comments and also make a post about it in the group.
Oh, that's great. I definitely will. And we'll be writing some articles, some content about that too, to educate our customer base on the best waiver practices. So I'll make sure I get all of that over to you to share with your group as well.
That's great, because that was a huge subject that we talked about in the challenge as well. It's so when you look at the challenge was really about getting people to either teach their first session online, so either leading a personal training session or a class online virtually, or a lot of people have been doing that for a while, but they've been doing it for free, and so they're having trouble getting over that hump of asking for money for the first time. And so when you lead a challenge for something like that, and people are kind of like stumbling over something, and they don't want to do it, it's uncomfortable, it feels weird, it's just something that they've been putting off, they'll find like their brain finds other reasons to put it off. And so one of the things that we ended up talking about a lot was waivers. And not that everybody was using the waivers as a reason not to teach, but your brain will kind of get in the way. And so a convenient option for waivers is something that we are really looking for as a group, as a population.
Yeah, no, and it made, actually the dialogue with him really opened my mind on how we probably should get a little bit more comprehensive in our approach to waivers anyway. I've seen some very basic waivers out there, which, in a lot of cases probably are fine. But he was talking about getting much more in depth on, the things that could happen, the risks that are involved, the scope of practice, really laying it all out there, taking as much of the liability off of the trainer as possible. And it really made a lot of sense what he was saying. So I'm excited for us to build some content that shares some of that information and give it to our customers.
Awesome. Okay, so we talked about coverage for virtual classes. We talked about whether they're live or whether they're recorded. It is covered. There's a special policy that's built for the Fit Pros group. It's insurefitness.com/FP. So that's the one you want to go to and purchase. And that's the one that you can be sure has all of the coverages that are built for us. Joe, that policy is $169 a year.
Correct. $169 per year. And, it really it's designed to be the full 360-degree coverage that a personal trainer and or fitness instructor would need. So it comes with your professional liability. That is if you hurt somebody during the scope of session, it's what's called like the malpractice insurance or light malpractice. So that's covered up to $1 million per occurrence or up to $3 million per year. Excessive high numbers coverage, but those numbers tend to fulfill any requirements you'd need if you rent space or if you rent studio space or if you worked at a place. A lot of times they're going to require certain limits of liability for you to bring. So we built our program so that we fulfill the limits that we saw in the marketplace. So PL's at 1 million per occurrence, 3 million per year. General liability also covered at 1 million per occurrence, 3 million per year. The difference in PL, GL, PL is the malpractice, GL, the general liability, that's like the slip and fall insurance. What's very interesting is we get a lot more claims for general liability than we do professional liability. And what's good about that?
Yeah, because we know what we're doing.
You know what you're doing, right? People know what they're doing, but you can't really foresee or expect that freak accident. So GL claims come in, and it's part of life. Beyond that, ours also adds some things that we felt are important to the industry. Number one, $100,000 of rental damage insurance. So if you're renting a spot, a lot of times they're going to require you have rental damage coverage. So ours includes $100,000. $25,000 of identity theft is included, as well as $1,000 of stolen or damaged equipment insurance. So we made sure that
that is really good.
Yeah, right. And that was purposeful. Oh, there's also product coverage as well. So if you use a lotion or an oil or anything that causes an allergic reaction, if you put a lotion on some soreness afterwards, I know not everybody does that, but some people do. if an allergic reaction, that's also specifically covered up to $1 million per occurrence.
Wow, that's really interesting. Are all of those things listed on the website when they go to insurefitness.com/FP?
Boy, I hope so.
We'll have to check after this. We
If
will
not,
make sure they are if they're not. So I have two questions. The first one is, if somebody wanted $2 million per occurrence, would they be able to like add another policy, or how would they do that?
Yeah, so the way our program is built for individuals, we don't have the flexibility to do that for a fitness instructor or personal trainer. What's interesting is the original programs that we built for massage therapy and for yoga, those are built at 2 million, 3 million. And for if we wanted to build the fitness instructor personal trainer at that level, it would have just had to have been a lot more expensive. So as we reviewed the market, we looked at a bunch of leases that landlords require. We looked at a lot of employment agreements that gyms and or small boutique fitness centers require, and none of them were above the levels of 1 million, 3 million. So we built it at that level to keep the costs as low as we possibly could for the marketplace. Our program, unfortunately, is not flexible. We can, if you need higher limits based on an agreement and arrangement, there's two things. Number one, let's have a conversation, because 9 times out of 10, our agent can get on the phone with the landlord or the employer and have a discussion. And a lot of times those limits are negotiable. They are only set there because somebody put those in a piece of paper. They don't really mean anything. So they're usually somewhat flexible. And if they're not, we'll by all means recommend another company for you guys to go with, because we want to help. We're not trying to take business from anybody. We want to be assist you in the industry.
Very cool. Very cool. The second question I'm seeing come in, I've got 2 people asking this. Does this insurance also cover in-person classes? Specifically, they're asking about outdoor classes in parks.
Yes, it's in fact, it's mobile. As long as you're in the United States, it covers you anywhere, indoors.
So whether you're an employee, whether you're an independent contractor, and no matter the location.
That's correct.
Sorry for talking over you there. I didn't mean to do that.
No, please. That was a great question. The answer is yes. I like saying yes to questions.
Very good. Okay. So what other questions do you guys have? Throw them up for us. Let's ask him all of our questions. I feel like this is starting to sound like a commercial because I got all excited and jumped in and started asking all these questions. But those are the questions that I've seen people ask in the feeds and in the comments in the past. What are kind of the most commonly asked questions that you get, Joe?
Right now, it's funny. The most common questions right now are: do we cover virtual? Do we cover online? Do we cover live streaming? And so we get a lot of those questions. And the answer is, of course, yes. That's been a big one. We get, because insurance tends to be a very confusing thing. We get a lot of questions for coverages that are far and away outside of our scope. For instance, do we cover business interruption? The answer is no. It's not. It's not typically a part of a liability policy. It just isn't. Do we, we get a lot of questions on, do we have health insurance? Do we have dental? Do we have vision? Well, and by the way, the answer used to be no. We had our liability policy and that was it. Back in October, however, we were purchased by Arthur J. Gallagher, who's the 4th largest insurance broker in the world. Apparently they saw that we were doing something and they liked what we were doing. So they bought us, which has been fantastic, by the way. How lucky were we to get purchased by a multi-billion-dollar company before a pandemic hit? But that's neither here nor there. But really what's been great about that acquisition is that we now have access to an entire suite of member benefits that would have taken me years to negotiate. We have access to a full insurance marketplace. So when people buy our liability insurance, they log into our member portal, which, by the way, you have to log into the member portal to download your certificates. Inside of there, you have extraordinarily low cost health insurance options, a telemedicine option. You can get telemedicine right now without even having health insurance. You can visit a doctor live online while you're sitting at home during a pandemic. Discounted dental insurance, discounted vision insurance, as well as really kind of across the board insurance marketplace. So our program really overnight blew up in value based on these great things that our new owners brought to the table.
That's really good to know. So you and I definitely need to have an offline conversation about that, because I actually spoke with another company recently that specializes in insuring healthy individuals. So it's like a low cost individual health insurance. So I would love to talk to you about your offering, and maybe, you know, do some partnership there for this group with that as well.
I think that's great. Yeah, I'd love to have dialogue about that. Oh, another question.
Excellent.
I do want to bring this up because I think this is important. We do get a ton of questions on whether, as people go back to work in a live online setting, does our policy cover the transmission of communicable diseases? And so that, I think that's something to address. And I want to be very clear and upfront. The answer is no, we do not. And every liability policy I've ever seen also has an exclusion for that. Now, however, again, that was everything up to the pandemic, right? So we found a liability in the massage space who's advertising that they now do cover the transmission of communicable diseases. We showed that to our underwriters, and our underwriters said, "Oh, that's impossible. There's no possible way they can do that." Now we're still investigating it. I'm sure they didn't mismarket themselves. I'm sure the answer is yes. But the reason I'm bringing this up is it's the normal is that no liability policy would cover the transmission of communicable diseases. So keep that in mind. You want to ask your underwriter, your insurance company. Now, in a pandemic, it's very hard to prove the source of a transmission. And for liability to kick in, you do have to have a proven source. You do have to have a proof of negligence. So it may not be as risky as people are thinking, but I think everybody should go into this with an understanding that transmission of communicable diseases in most cases is not covered.
That is fascinating. I never thought about that, but yes, that was a really great point. So what you're seeing is that people are coming to you and asking, does my insurance policy cover the transmission specifically of COVID, but of any kind of communicable disease? And the answer is that that's really not a possibility, that you've only ever seen one policy that says that they do, and your underwriters aren't sure how they're really doing that.
Correct. It's a typical exclusion in a liability policy. The way liability policies are written is it's a single sheeter of here are the practices that we cover, and then it's about 30 pages of exclusions. That's just how it's typically written. And exclusions can be anything from acts of God, terrorism, things like that. Use of alcohol could potentially negate a claim for a policy. But in every policy that I've seen, there is a very written out excludes the coverage of transmission of communicable diseases. So I want to be, again, take that information, go back to your insurance company, ask them specifically. Don't take my word for it, but I just want to make people aware that it is typically.
Really great point. So I have got some questions coming in about certification. So we'll go through them one by one. Is certification required?
So in the way our policy is written, you actually have to click a button that says you are licensed, you are licensed and or certified, I'm sorry, it's written somewhat like you are licensed and or certified to legally work in the profession that you're working. That language obviously is a little gray in that, well, not gray. I mean, basically whether you're working legally or illegally. The gray area is that there's no real federal regulations in the fitness space, as we know. There's the NCAA has credited several different certifying bodies, but again, none of that really is fed up to federal law. So the answer is, while we want everybody to be certified, we recommend everybody to be certified. Our program, there's no legal ramifications for somebody who's not certified. As long as they're working legally and they didn't lie on the application, our program will cover them.
Okay. So when you apply for the insurance, you're agreeing that you are qualified to work in the industry.
Correct. That you're working legally in the industry, which again, if you go to, you go to work at a local gym and the state has certain requirements for you you need to be following those state requirements.
Okay. And so
then that's part of it. Yes.
All right. So the answer is no specific certification, but you probably should have something, and you need to be in compliance with your state regulations and with your gym's regulations if you're going into a specific gym. So if an instructor is teaching something specific, like let's say running, would they be covered if they just have a group certification or a personal training certification, or do you want them to have a running certification?
Gotcha. Well, again, as far as the line in the sand on would it be covered and would it not be covered would all depend on legality. If they're doing, if what they're doing is legal, then absolutely we will cover it.
Mhm.
If they're teaching a running class, legally teaching a running class, somebody gets injured, there's negligence, we would absolutely cover that. Of
Mhm.
course, if you're going to teach a running class, common sense, please, have some type of certification and or knowledge that's going to assist you in keeping people
Mhm.
safe. But there's no real federal regulations having oversight in a lot of these classes. So to connect the legal side of it with the actuality, I mean, without the oversight, it's that interesting gray area of the current regulatory patterns.
And I think that gray area is just inherent in our industry because there's there's really no way to completely get trained up in everything that we would ever be asked to do. And when you think about, a gym teacher, they've got or a coach, like a high school football coach, they've got certain qualifications that got them the job that they graduated from college with, that sort of thing. But they're teaching running and they don't necessarily have a running certification. So that I think that completely makes sense. And I think that gray area is just inherent.
For sure, for sure.
What other questions you guys got? I'm watching the comments. What do I hear a lot? I hear, how much is it? I think this policy that we've partnered with you to create at insurefitness.com/FP, it's one of the lower priced ones that I've seen.
We the, fitness being kind of the fourth industry we went in, we had a fairly working model because we've had success in the three other industries that we serve. And our model really has been to come to market with the most comprehensive coverage for the lowest price. I know that sounds like everybody's goal with the product, but we had a very unique entry point that allowed us to really do that. And not the lowest price is not what we were going for. We wanted the most comprehensive coverage. That was the most important piece. We were able to do that and run an extraordinarily efficient business where we can run on very, very low margins to keep our costs low. So not only were we able to accomplish having the most comprehensive coverage out there, but the lowest price. Now, there's certain components out there. You'll find an insurance out there that may be less expensive. You might find a couple of them with higher limits in certain components, but our 360-degree package we feel is by far the most valuable out there.
Well, I agree. I will say this when I'm answering questions about it, and I don't know everything. Most of the time I refer back to you, but I am so proud of the answer that always comes back from you because it's always a yes. I mean, whenever possible, it's a yes, which is really cool. The application process.
Yes. Oh boy, I love that question. That is one of the coolest things that we've done. Back in the day when you were a massage therapist, fitness instructor, if you wanted to go get a liability policy, you'd go to a local agent and you'd fill out this lengthy paper application, and he would take it. He'd spend a couple weeks getting it underwritten, and he'd issue you a policy for $500, $600, $700. All of that now is done, as kind of I mentioned at the beginning, almost like an Amazon buy. So, again, we really had this unique, creative way that we developed the purchase of this, and it's almost like if you work at an employer and you have a company with 5,000 people, how they can all be built under a group health insurance policy. That's kind of how we built this liability policy. So because of the way we built it, because it's built somewhat as a group policy, and they're not shared limits, everybody has their own individual limits, but because it's built somewhat like this, you can go online. You don't have to, if you don't want to, you don't have to speak to a single human. You can go right on the site. You put your information in, you pick your modality, you put your credit card in, and you're immediately covered. As soon as you hit enter, it processes. You're immediately sent an email. You can log into your member portal, download your certificate. If you want to go work at a gym that day, you can sign up at the gym and have your certificate there for you. It's very, very cool. Now that is the online way, and we just wanted to make it easy for customers, but we are, as far as I know, the only company in the business as well with an on-site call center, fully staffed with licensed agent that's open over 65 hours a week. We're open on Saturdays. We want you to be able to get in touch with a human. So you can either call us and do the 5-minute process online, or you can go online yourself and do the 3 to 5 minute process on your own, whatever you're most comfortable with. but it's very, very simple.
I love that. Thank you for covering that question. That's really great information. Another yes, another win. I love it.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that they can go on to insurefitness.com/FP. They get the information, they fill out the application, and they are immediately covered. And it should just take a few minutes.
That's correct. So if they go to insurefitness.com/FP and they decide they still want to call, they want to talk to a human, which a lot of people do. Insurance is a confusing thing to a lot of people. It's a very weird thing to purchase. It's just strange to purchase something you hope you never use. Think about that for a minute. You buy insurance, you hope you never use it. It's weird, right? Anyway, a lot of people want to call. So if you'll see a phone number right on that landing page, feel free to call. Just make sure you mention Fit Pros, because we'll sign you up under this cool deal that we created for the Fit Pros group.
Awesome. 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 Okay, guys, any other questions? I told you it would be easy peasy.
Easy peasy. And of course, if there's any follow-up questions, feel free to share my contact info, our business contact info, or just send me some questions. I can be reached anytime. It doesn't matter what time of day.
Oh, as a matter of fact, I think I saw another guy from the group from Insure Fitness come in and join the Fit Pros the other day.
Oh, is that right? Was it Cody?
Was he last name Young?
Oh, it was probably Hannah Young.
Yes.
All
Oh,
right.
okay. It was a woman. I don't know why I assumed it was a guy, but yeah. So now we've got 2 reps from your company that we can ask questions to and get answers.
Oh, great. Yeah, please. And please feel free to shoot us questions. Again, we know what insurance is. We know it's not the sexiest product you're looking at today, but it's important, and we have the answers, and we can help you through any of it.
Beautiful. Well, we appreciate your presence in the group, and we appreciate how often you jump in and just contribute those answers to us. And we appreciate you working with us and creating the policy that covers us for the things that we need right now.
Of course. No, thank you. We appreciate any of the collaboration. The partnership's been fantastic. If there's anything more we can do for you, with you, we're delighted to, and really appreciate everything.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, okay, guys, if there's no other questions, that's what I've got for you. You guys throw up some hearts and fires and tell Joe thank you for being here. I see you guys still on here, and I know we can really show him our appreciation. So we just appreciate you so much. Thank you for being here. Fit Pros, thank you for watching. What information do I have for you right now? So as you guys know, I think you've heard me talking about it. We're registering right now for the Virtual Studio Business Academy. So that's kind of the level up from the challenge. We did the challenge last week. Those guys killed it. 90% of them either led their first session virtually or took money for their first session virtually. And now we are moving on, and the academy is for those of us who are ready to build our virtual studio and want to kind of fast track that growth, skip past all the mistakes, pick my brain at any time, and really take all of the knowledge that I've learned about building my virtual business and just fast track their growth. So it's 6 months. We go online for an hour every week. I teach to you. I teach on specific things. We're going to start with revenue generation, and then we're going to do business systems, and we're going to go back to revenue generation. So it's just going to be a really cool, very high touch live online experience. And I'm not going to speak too much on it today. I'm just going to tell you that if you are still on the fence, please get in contact with me. Send me a direct message or go to culturewebpros.com/call and schedule a quick call with me. Let me help you make that decision so that you can get off the fence either way, whether it's a yes or it's a not right now. And it should only be a yes if it's a hell yes, right? So y'all just make that call, send that message, or schedule a call with me, or make the decision. And then I'm just encouraging you to make the decision if it's still on your mind. Okay, so that's what I'm going to say about that. Oh, so Jennifer's asking, Joe, I'm going to let you jump off because I know that you're still kind of watching, and I might answer a few questions about this. So Joe, thank you for being here. Appreciate you.
Just let me know, but thank you so much, Kelly. Take care.
Thank you. So Jennifer, the academy is $2,250. So it's $2,250 for the 6 months if you pay it up front right now. Right now, I'm offering the bonus that you get a 5-page website built by Coulter Web Pros for your virtual studio business with your registration. There is a monthly payment option if you want to do it that way. It's $425. So when you go to virtualstudionow.com/academy, you'll see at the very top and at the very bottom, there's a link to the monthly payment option. That'll take you straight into PayPal subscriptions and allow you to just sign up as a monthly subscription rather than pay that whole thing up front. If you want to pay the whole thing up front, you can just do it right there on that virtualstudionow.com website. So, you know, what I want to say about that is that it's an investment in your business. We are looking at creating an income that is going to exceed the income you were making at the gym. It's going to replace what you have lost during quarantine, and all of the investment that you make into the academy, of course, is write-offable as part of your business, and it's a business expense, and you're going to 10x that this year. I'm committed to it. I'm coming alongside you guys, and that's the deal. And Catherine is saying, hell yes. And she is saying that because she is already part of the academy. You guys, we start Monday. We're gonna start right off with a live lesson. We're gonna double down the first month. So the first month, we're gonna talk about growing our audience and creating more income and more audience. And then we're also going to talk about mindset, because I already know from talking to those of you who are already registered that some of us are struggling with just money mindset, self-worth kind of mindset. It's really hard because a lot of us have been gym employees and we need to go into entrepreneurship. Jennifer asking about whether or not it's just for virtual studios. It is for those of us who are pivoting from being a gym employee to becoming more of an entrepreneur. We are going to learn how to create more following and more participation in our paid programs. We are going to learn the business systems that support the business, help us to automate the business, so we're spending less time running the business and more time doing the thing we love, which is loving on our clients and serving our clients. So that's what this is all about. We're going to alternate between creating more revenue by getting more participants and getting more paid participants, and also then doing the business system stuff. The third piece of that is we're really going to be looking at not just leading sessions, but also creating programs that are sellable and repeatable over and over again. So once you really start to work one-on-one, whether it's virtually or whether you're delivering distance workouts or that sort of thing, social distance workouts, no matter what the how is, you know that your why is always the same, and you start to see where you're really creating transformation and who you're really creating that for. And then from there, we're looking at what programs can we create that deliver that transformation, and then how can we create those in a way that is repeatable. And then repeatable. That's what I want to say about that. What other questions do you have for me? I start talking really fast when I start talking about the academy because I'm super excited about it. Y'all, I'm super excited about it. It's going to be so good. It's going to fast track you guys. I wish I had somebody that had come alongside me when I first got into business and helped me to just fast track past all the business mistakes the way that you guys will, because I'm going to tell you exactly what software to use. I'm going to tell you how to use it. I'm going to tell you how to grow your group. I'm going to tell you how to figure out who you really want to serve and where you're making the most impact and the most value, so that you can just serve that one person over and over and over and over again. Once you figure out how to serve and sell to that one person, then how are we going to do that over and over again? And I don't like the word sell. I like to say offer, because what we're doing is we're going to grow an audience, and then we're going to offer them what they want, which is why they're our audience. And then they will decide whether or not it's right for them right now. We're not going to talk a lot about selling. We're going to talk about creating an audience that's right, creating an offer that's right for the audience that you already serve. And then if it's right for them to pay for a higher level of service right now, then great. Okay, so Jennifer, you said, asked at the top, the challenge opportunity from last week, is that done or will that circle back around? So that is a great question. So the way that is working and the way that I see things going forward for me serving this group over the long term is that we did the challenge, and that was like a $40 investment from everybody, and that's going to go up this time to $60. So so they had that, and then those people from the challenge who are really ready to build their virtual business and want to kind of fast track that those are the people who are coming into the academy now. So the academy is that 6-month commitment. I'm committing to you for 6 months, you're committing to me for 6 months, and we're going to learn all of the business back end stuff. The challenge will happen again June 12th. I opened the cart on that on Monday because you can't register for the academy anymore after Monday. So Monday, the academy starts. I close the cart on the academy and I open the cart on the challenge, and you can register for the challenge, and the challenge will start again June 12th. And we will do it again. I will go in the group every day live for 7 days. I will teach. That group will come together as a cohesive unit. You guys will support each other. That challenge was an amazing experience for those who attended. Meanwhile, the academy is a deeper, longer learning experience. It's a 6-month experience that's going to go not only into delivering your sessions and that how that we covered in the challenge, but also the business systems and all of the deeper stuff that we need to go into in order to create a full business out of this virtual world that we're in. Oh, Jennifer, you were too scared to jump for the challenge or for the academy. You got to do it. Ask these guys. There are a few guys in these comments. You guys tell her how much fun we had in that challenge. It was so good. It was really so good. I just never expected we had 25 people, and that was the first time I've ever run it. We had 25 people, and I just can't believe how much we came together as a cohesive unit, how much people were supporting each other and jumping in, giving each other feedback. I think you guys got to know each other even past the Facebook group, really, direct messaging each other and texting each other and calling each other. It was so good. And I think I said 90% of the people that participated did teach their first virtual session or ask for money for the first time. And the other thing is, I had one participant, not everybody told me how much they made during the week, but I had one participant that taught her first virtual session, asked for money for the first time, and made $345. And if she would not have taken the challenge, she would have made $0 last week, and she made $345. So that's the kind of stuff that we're doing in the challenge. So what other questions? Any other questions right now before we jump off of here? You guys, if you are considering the academy, that's what is open right now. And that's what you can register for at virtualstudionow.com/academy. If you register, Culture Web Pros will build a 5-page website for you. And that is the 6-month commitment and investment. And it's going to be an amazing experience. We're going to love it. And we are all going to 10x our income during that. If you are still on the fence about that and you need some questions answered so that you can either say hell yes or not right now, please feel free to schedule a call with me. The call button is on my marketing website's website. So you go to culturewebpros.com/call and you can schedule a 20-minute call with me. I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm happy to just help you get off the fence, because indecision is just a terrible place to be. And I don't want any of you to be there. So make it a hell yes, or make it a not right now, and go ahead and make that decision, but don't stay on the fence. That is what I'm going to say to you about that. And Catherine says it was scary to make the commitment. You know, what's so funny is Jennifer was going, I was scared to make the commitment. And I remembered Catherine throwing up that same comment. She's like, I'm scared. And the first time I saw that come through, I thought, oh my gosh, that is just so honest. That was crazy. It just shocked me. I loved the honesty. And the money will come. I completely agree. The money is going to be the natural side effect. And the time investment, y'all, I think that's an interesting question that I keep getting, because the time is the time that you would invest in your business anyways. But when you're in the academy, you have the guidance and the support and the mentorship to know that you're investing your time in the right places. So it's more guided, directed, confident time that you can spend on your business. Okay, y'all. So I'm going to go virtualstudionow.com/academy. If you're still on the fence, DM me, do whatever you got to do to get your questions answered. Get off the fence. Let's make this happen. Y'all, I love you so much. Thank you for being here. I so appreciate you being with me, and I will see you soon. Mwah, mwah.